Welcome, elites. Finally, you are stepping into the real world. So, if you are somebody who is coming from module 3, you already know how shit is working. And if you are someone who is just starting from this module, then you are welcome. And I can assure that a lot of shit is going to go straight into your head and you are going to learn a lot. So, let's get started without wasting much time. So, this lesson is all about how to do a sales call. And this is for everybody, for a beginner, for an intermediate, and for an advanced person. So buckle up because we are going to take off. First thing first, if you are somebody who is just starting out with sales call or you are having a bad track in the sales calls, the thing is that these calls are meant to be sucked. So your first few calls, at least the first 4 to 5 calls, are going to be a nightmare. You would be sweating, you would be stammering, you would be nervous, you would be looking here and there and here and there. So that's completely fine. I can't assume you to be just like me, straight focus, dead eye onto the client. That's something you get with experience. So the first few calls, they are gonna suck, and they are gonna suck really bad. But the sucking capacity and the sucking limit should be getting lowered by every going call. So suppose for example your first call was really bad, second should be less bad, third should be more less bad, fourth one should be pretty good, fifth one would be average, and then that's how the ladder is. That's how you climb up the ladder. Okay. Second thing, focus on problem solving and the client. The calls when you are with a client, the client doesn't give an actual fuck about you. It's not about you. So don't be like, I'm this, I'm that, I've done this, I've done that. Fuck it. Be about, I can do this to you because I have done this. I can do this for you because I know I can do it. I have done it, and these are the results I driven. It has to be more use than eyes. So you have to create you focused content rather than eyes. All right, that is the main thing, and you need to solve the client's problem. At least 5 to 10% of the solution should be on the call. It shouldn't be like you are just wobbling here and there and like, pay me to know more. No, that shit doesn't work. There are people like me, and there are people who are far better than me who are going to take the deal from your plate. So don't let them take it. Now comes the main part. Whenever you are a client call, the first thing you should do, the first thing and foremost thing that you need to remember, understand the fucking goddamn problem your client is facing. I've hired a lot of freelancers, I've gotten a lot of calls with freelancers, and this is the one fucking thing they can get straight in the head is to shut the fuck up and listen what I'm actually trying to say. Because whenever I'm explaining what, like for website development, I've hired a team. For SEO, I have one person. For marketing and working with me, I am looking out for people. So the thing is that the ones who are with me are the ones who actually listened to what I had to say, and after that they contributed their part. And the ones who cut me when I'm speaking, you have already lost your chance. You are not in my books. That's how I hire. That's how people who hire me, they hire. So that's how the top, that's how it's at the top. It's cutthroat competition and these small things matter. So shut the fuck up and listen what the client has to say. Second thing would be that I really appreciate and I really do is having a notepad and a pen and write the whatever the client is saying. Because firstly, it makes you look really professional. It makes you look like a big boy that you know shit. It makes you look more professional. It gives you an upper hand. These small gestures really matter. The people I have hired, they were the ones who were jotting down things when I was saying stuff. So see it from a client's perspective. When I see that somebody who I want to hire is putting in efforts right in front of me, they are writing down shit what I'm saying, then they are repeating after me, and then they are saying that if they have missed something or not. That is the shit that I want. That is the shit every client wants in their freelancer. That gives you the edge. I see freelancers sitting there. Hmm. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. All right. And then I see one freelancer out of 10 who's coming out with, okay, yeah, so you are trying to do this. Nice. Makes sense. All right. Yeah, noted. Yeah, this is really good. We can really work up something out of it. Fucking G, I'm gonna go with this person. Yeah, so anyways, my camera died, and this is, I guess, the first and last video where you will see a jump cut. Otherwise, I prefer to do things in single take. If you have watched the first 3 modules, you know that. So now, after making notes, you gotta ask what all they have actually tried, because you don't want to tap on those things which they have already done. For example, you're a writer and they have tried out long form content. If you are a social media manager and they have already tried some strategies that didn't work, you don't want to get those things again. You want to touch the untapped regions which they have not tried, and you are going to contribute your part in that side. That is the thing. After that, this is the one thing that I'm literally pissed off with, that do not say much until you know the exact problem that your client is facing. Until unless you are really clear about that, okay, this is the problem this guy is facing and this is how I'm going to help him, till then just do not entertain the client much. Absorb as much as you can, listen as much as you can, get an understanding, then speak up. It has happened to me a lot of times, like when I hired my web development team or when I hired my SEO person. Those were the people who didn't cut me when I was trying to explain them what actually I need, what is the goddamn problem, and what solution I'm looking for. Once they heard me out, they got the solution in their head, then they spoke to me, they offered me the solution, and now we are working. And there were literally 8 to 10 people who just cut me in between, that okay, this is the problem, we can do that. Goddamn fuck, I'm still saying, why don't you shut the fuck up and listen? No, that is the main thing. Patience and listening, like listening will do 50% of your task easy. Listening is fucking underrated on sales calls. After that, the other thing you need to focus on is ask shamelessly. Don't feel ashamed, because I've seen a lot of people are like that. If I'm asked question, it will make me feel less superior. I will not possess myself an expert and that shit. See, here is the hard reality. The people who are expert in their niche, they do not leave any stone unturned to find out what the actual problem is. And in order to find out the root cause, you gotta ask questions. When you are ill, you go to a doctor, he asks you questions, you answer them. When you go to a mechanic, he asks you what the problem is, then you tell them the problem, and then they offer you the solution. The same case is with you. You are also a service provider. So until unless you don't know the main problem and the client is unable to explain you the problem, you gotta ask questions. That is the thing. I hope this analogy made it clear. Because when freelancing, people feel if they are going to ask questions, the client will think that he doesn't know about what he's talking. That is not the case. You know what you are talking about. That's why you're asking goddamn question, to figure out and narrow down the point that is troubling him. So ask shamelessly. There is no shame in asking questions. Like for example, see, if you and me are on a call, I'm your potential client, you are the freelancer. You ask me questions about my problems, my challenges, my journey, my vision, my mission. I would be fucking more than happy to let you know. You will already have good numbers in the books, because you are the only person who asked me relevant questions. That shows that you have done your due diligence, you have done your due research, and that you are genuinely interested in helping me out rather than some dumb fuck who is just chasing money. That sets you apart. This small thing will set you apart from the others. And the elites know this thing. That's why they are in the superior and creamy category, as I always say. After that, what you gotta do is, and please note this thing down, if you have not written it so far, I don't know what you are doing, because you should have actually written it down. Do not ever, never ever give an upper hand to the client during a call. You should be authoritative yet approachable. It should not be like that the client is just speaking, throwing stuff on you, and you are sitting like a dumb fuck just like this, and yes, you are doing just this thing. That is not how things work. You gotta be authoritative yet approachable. So for example, if the client is talking about the pricing, that oh, I used to pay my previous developer this much money, so I guess you will also be offering this much services in that kind of money, and I expect you to charge that much from me. And if you are there sitting like, mm, yeah, we can work out, or you are looking here and there just like I'm right now mimicking you, okay, we can do. No, that's not the case. You have already given him the upper hand. Now the client knows that he is not confident about his services, so let us exploit. When you are already giving a chance from your end, why would the client hesitate? Instead of it, if the client said that okay, we hired our previous dev, he was charging us 30,000 for this job, and I'm expecting that you will also be charging this much for the same amount of work, so let us proceed. And that time you just, instead of doing like this and sitting like this, you just come up with a good body language. You are like, see, I completely understand where you are coming from, and I completely value that thing, but working with me is quite an experience, and the kind of offers and skill sets I bring onto the table, They are worth more than what your other developer would charge, because if you would have done a good job, then we would not be here talking. So I don't want you to wobble around from one freelancer to other just because of a few thousands. I really want to deliver you value, and if this is something that we really need to work upon, we can have a discussion about it later on. Here you made yourself clear. The client would be like, finally a worthy opponent, in a slang, like finally a worthy person. And most of the time they are willing to shell out their money. They are willing. They have a buffer of 20% in most cases that I have seen, at least in my industry or when I was a journalist. It was a buffer. They always had a buffer. Like if he's talking about 30,000, he has a budget of 36. He just want to cut it down. That's what fucking HRs are made for. HRs are made to lessen the expenses of the company. Now, in most cases, the HR are not that good that you expect them to be. On LinkedIn, every HR is good, but in reality, they are going to suck the blood out of you on a client call or a negotiation call or on a discovery call. They will try to get quality work as much cheap as they can. This is India. That is the thing. You need to really pay attention to it, that you do not give him the upper hand, because if the other person has the upper hand, you are fucked. After that, this is a most important point as well. Like all the points I say are important, so don't mind me saying most important, because everything I have written down and I'm telling you is important and everything makes fucking sense. Do your own fucking research before going in. I don't want you guys, even after watching this module or watching this course, if you are going to a client call without doing your research, what the actual fuck are you doing? You need to put in effort from your end. You need to show the client that you have put in the time, you have put in the efforts to understand their product, services, or everything or anything that they are offering. You can't go and there be like, okay, explain me what is your problem. No, what the fuck you did then? Where is your due diligence? And these things really matter. Now think from a client's perspective. Like you are a client. This time consider me as a freelancer, you as a client, because it's becoming monotonous. You are the client, okay? I'm the freelancer. You are hiring for your website, and I do a deep research about the niche you are in. So for example, you are in the food industry, so I dig deep into the food industry. I see what kind of trends are going on, all that stuff, how the other websites are, and I tell you those things. Wouldn't you be intimidated by, okay, fuck, this is the guy who has done ample research, he knows this shit, he has done this thing for me even before getting started. He must have something. Fuck yeah, you will close the client. There is a high possibility you are going to close the client. Now comes my favorite part, and this is what I have completely observed so far during the last 5 years, that most of the freelancers on calls are like this: shoulders shrugged, completely unconfident. I don't know what kind of pressure do they have while talking. They are completely constantly looking like, yeah, no, I get it. Um, um, they stammer like anything. Like that is not the thing you have to do. You have to maintain a good body posture, a good thing. Like imagine this example. Suppose if I would have taught you like this, whole time my shoulders would be shrugged down. I would be here and I would be like, so in this module, we are going to learn about that how you have to do sales call and how you have to be confident. You would be like, God damn, you are not even confident. Wow, who are you? Who the fuck are you to teach me? In my case, it is not that. You see a guy, well maintained posture, hand gestures constantly, constant eye contact, not stammering enough. You can see the confidence, you can see the kind of persona I'm carrying, and that's why you're listening to me. That's the whole goddamn point, because the throw I have, the delivery I do, and the kind of information I'm providing you is keeping you hooked. And you see, okay, this is a person who can teach me something, from whom I can get some information. That should be the thing on a client call as well. Why would you listen to a dumb fuck who's sitting like this? Fuck it, that's pretty shitty. Now, till now, you have not written anything. God knows what you want to do with your fucking life. Because I'm telling you those things which these people are never going to tell you. Because if they tell you, ask anybody who has taken a paid course. Okay, open challenge. Ask anybody and let me know if they have told these things or not. Because I guess they have not told these. Because once they tell you this, how will they offer the upgraded package to you? So dumb fuck, if you have not written it down, get the pen and paper, because I'm going to repeat everything. It's not like the other coaching institutes or something where you don't get the notes. Write down. Your first calls are going to suck. I'm going to speak it in one throw because we don't have that much time that I take a pause for 5 seconds for you to write down like elementary kids. First calls will suck. Focus on problem solving. Create you centric content, not I. Understand the client's problem. Take goddamn notes. Ask what all they have tried. Do not say much until you know the root cause, until you get the main problem. Ask shamelessly because experts do ask questions. Perfect. Do not give the client an upper hand. Be authoritative yet approachable. Do your own research. Maintain a good body posture and a well delivered throw. You should have that self confidence and a good posture because that thing really matters. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. There is a lot more good stuff coming in the upcoming lessons. Just straight jump into it. I'm sure you will not be disappointed.